Hey, KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra here at KUsports.com with Benton Smith on his birthday.
Oh,
I am Matt Tate,
party.
and
I'm
it
just
is
hammered
not
drunk.
it is not my birthday. I matter less in this KU Sports Extra than I ever have in the history of KU Sports Extras. But anyway,
Love
happy
that.
birthday to Benton. Happy
Thanks.
fifth win in a row day to KU. The Jayhawks with a really strong effort today. Take down number 15 Texas Tech at Allen Fieldhouse, 67-61. Everybody knew this game was going to be played in the 60s. I don't know that anybody knew who was going to win it either way. Kind of seemed like a toss-up game. KU certainly could win it, but Texas Tech, really good team as well. So I think the fact that Kansas got out of there with the victory is enormous for this team and for their trajectory and all that. I was at the game today, but came home to do this KU Sports Extra because I like this couch and I'm comfortable. Damn it, it's Benton's birthday, so I'm going to do what I want to do today. But Benton, real quick, just your first thoughts on the big win. I mean, it's 5 in a row now for KU, but this was obviously the best of those 5, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, like we've talked about recently, like this was the first legit team they've played in a while, and it's obviously their best quality win in a long time. So, yeah, and you mentioned everybody knew it was going to be in the 60s. I thought it might be in the 50s,
Right.
but with the way these two teams play, I
Right.
thought it might be a 59-57 type of game. So I was blown away by all this offense that we witnessed. But no, I thought McCormick was incredible in the first half, especially, and just kind of setting the tone for what KU ended up doing. I mean, he was so good, and I mean, it wasn't just that he was scoring; he was great passing the ball, smart defensively, and I mean, I thought that just the way he kind of eased into the game, he didn't have one of his bad starts, which we've talked about, over the past several weeks. He got off to a great start, and KU ends up winning and never trailing, right?
Right.
At no
Never.
point. Yeah.
I mean, and look, it's no secret, right? McCormick gets off to a good start. Kansas gets off to a good start. They jump up 10-2. They're up 15-6. I mean, there's the game right there. Obviously, they had to keep playing, and they had to do things along the way to make sure they won. But it's just such a different thing for this team and for David McCormick when they get going that way early. Haven't seen it a lot this year, but today I think showed them that it is possible, and then what can happen as a result of that. I agree. He was great, really the whole game, but particularly in that first 5 minutes where he just showed up, had a lot of energy, but used it in a good way. Didn't use it in a, oh my God, I'm going to miss this bunny and I'm going to spaz out and I'm going to foul somebody and I'm going too fast. Somebody slow me down. That was not the energy he had. Today was a focused energy, under control. And I think that also rubs off on the rest of these guys. They follow the lead of Marcus Garrett so much because Marcus Garrett's such a leader and so good and been through so much. But I think in terms of energy, they probably follow McCormick as much, if not more, than anybody on this team. So important for him to do that today, and obviously a huge win for this team. I thought the coolest thing was that they all played, man. They all contributed, and this is what I wrote about. You wrote about McCormick, but we've been talking for weeks, if not months, about, boy, what would it be like if this team all clicked at the same time? And they did that today. I mean, I thought they all contributed. Everybody that played an important role, had crucial stretches. Christian Brown, who was 3 for 13 or something, 2 for 10 from 3-point range, but he knocks down a huge one late, a couple
Yeah,
big ones late, right?
he was 1 for 9 when he nailed that one that they had to have.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, even that, you can look and say Christian Brown didn't play great because his shooting percentage was not great, but Christian Brown played great. That was a big-time shot to put the game on ice. He had a couple of big-time offensive rebounds. He attacked. And so I think more than the numbers, we're looking at this team just played a complete game in terms of how they played and the fact that everybody was turned up, everybody gave great effort. And again, everybody had stretches where they just played important parts in this victory. And that's what this team's looking for. They're trying to find it and click and put it all together. And I think they came pretty darn close today.
Yeah. This was definitely a complete kind of impressive victory. And it's the best that they've looked in probably since December, really.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
January was so tough, and the past few weeks they've been playing these teams that are just down this year, Iowa State and K-State, and like they did beat Oklahoma State, but I mean, there was so long where just they weren't winning these games. I mean, I think Dick Vitale mentioned during the broadcast, like the last time he had covered a KU game was that Tennessee game, and just think about how poorly they played in that game. That was the last time that they had this type of like top 25 matchup kind of game, and I mean, it was over by halftime. I mean, that team had no chance that day, and
Right.
this was a competitive game, and it's because they've gotten better defensively, and because I think just Jalen Wilson's coming along lately. McCormick obviously was great today, and they didn't turn the ball over. That was the biggest thing. I mean, incredible. 6 turnovers total?
6 turnovers against that defense. It's and look, I think this team's figuring out its formula, right? Like they play defense, compete, be opportunistic with your offense. Knock in some threes. You don't have to shoot 12 of 27 every game. You got to make key shots, and they did that today. I got the stats right here. I don't remember what they were total, but 8 of 26 from 3-point range. So nothing incredible. That's not anything you're going to write home about, but some of those 8 were massive. Ochai hit a huge one on that drive where DeJuan Harris, everyone in the building wanted him to go up and score when he was in the paint with the ball, and he kicks it out to Ochai on the wing instead, and Ochai hits the 3, or maybe in the corner. Huge shot. And then, of course, Christian Brown's 3-pointer. So I think the formula is very clear to these guys now. And Self said it after the game. He said, look, we're taking pride in doing the right things that win games. And he said, I think in January we thought we knew what won games, but we didn't. And we do now, and we're doing those things. And I mean, I just think that's such an enormous part of this turnaround. I think that's something that you see very clearly in the way these guys play, but I think you hear them talk it too. And they're starting to mesh that up. They're starting to talk the talk and walk the walk. And I mean, they're definitely headed in the right direction. A couple of specific things I wanted to point out. I don't know how it looked on TV, but the Ochai alley-oop where he just casually dunked it reverse style over his head, that's one of the most amazing things I've seen in person. I mean, it was so casual. He did it like, chewing gum, and it was a big momentum play. It got the building going. Crowd wasn't amazing today. They never got really loud like they did earlier in this stretch, where I think they felt that their team needed them a couple games ago, and they showed up. And today it was good. They were excited. Heard the Rock Chalk chant for this long. But man, I was shocked they didn't just lose their minds on that one, because I did. What it looked like on TV, I mean, it had to be amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those plays where you kind of are caught off guard, right? I mean, because it came out of nowhere. Great look by DeJuan Harris, and I thought, just another example of him, like of what he brings to the court. Like Marcus Garrett probably makes that pass too if he's in the same position, but I mean, DeJuan Harris just has a great way of just reading the angles on everything. And I mean, I'm sure he would critique it and say he could have even put it up higher for Ochai, because, and maybe that's why it looks so easy. Ochai didn't have to go way up and get it.
Right.
He could just get it, up right around rim level, which is, where he operates and where the rest of us wish we could play. But I also thought, Harris, I thought, really solidified himself, because I wasn't sure like which direction Self might go with him, but him and Thompson are like, those are your guards off the bench. We didn't see Inaruna at all today, right?
Right.
And Lightfoot didn't play that much either. Just
5 minutes,
just given how well McCormick was playing, especially on the defensive end, I think kind of limited Mitch's minutes today. But you mentioned the alley-oop. I thought Thompson's reverse in the first half, where he went in and kind of hung and adjusted in midair to finish on the other side around the defender. This incredible move. Those were 2 insane highlights from
great point. And he has that in him, and that he did that his whole high school career. The injury slowed him down, obviously, in a lot of ways, mentally, physically, all of that. But if he's getting back, if he's starting to see that, and feel that and be able to attack, which I think he has done in this 5-game winning streak, he's going to be a key part of this piece or this puzzle for Kansas. And we know that. I mean, Self said that. It's very obvious that they're going to need contributions from him. He was really good today, though. He fell right in line with the rest of those guys, competing for rebounds, competing on defense, just competing, doing whatever it took to win the game. And I know I tweeted this, I wrote about this. I'm never going to stop talking about it, though, because Kobe's my guy. But he hit that three-pointer at the top of the key. And I don't know if they showed him on TV as he jogged back or backpedaled, but it was vintage Kobe Bryant. He had those shoulders going and a little scowl on his face. And, I mean, the reason Bryce Thompson wears number 24 is because of Kobe Bryant. He's a huge Kobe fan, and I guarantee that's one of those you could sync it up side by side with a Kobe shot just like that, and it would look exactly the same. So
yeah.
I loved that moment because that as much as anything, it shows how comfortable Bryce Thompson is out there now, right? He's feeling himself a little bit. He's feeling comfortable on the floor. You're not going to contribute, you're not going to produce if you're not comfortable, and he's obviously there. So any final thoughts on this game? I mean, we obviously talked about what a big win it was over a quality opponent, but it sets up a pretty big week, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this Texas rematch is something I think everybody's been looking forward to for months.
Yeah.
'Cause that was back at the beginning of January. It seems like ages ago at this point. And obviously Texas came in and just handled KU the last time they played. I can't imagine it will go that way this time. But I also, there's no guarantees that this KU team can go win in Austin. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm maybe another game in the 50s is what I'm kind of racing for. Another defensive struggle at times, maybe. And so maybe I'll be surprised and it'll be in the 60s like this one.
Yeah, well, I think that game for me anyway will be the definition of KU is going to have to make those guys play bad, right? And that's what they've been trying to do throughout this stretch, really throughout the whole season. But that is the type of team with all those athletes, all that size, all those things that Texas can throw on the floor. That's the type of team that you have to make them uncomfortable and force them to play a way they don't want to play. And it'll be really interesting. They don't have a ton of time to prepare. It's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. So it's not a ton of time to prepare. But Texas did lose today at home to West Virginia. And West Virginia, another good team, so no shame in that. But it definitely puts these two teams in different spots going into this one. Texas is not totally falling apart, but reeling a little bit. And KU obviously – arrow pointing up. So that's huge. And then, of course, Baylor next Saturday at home. At that point, you got nothing to lose in that game. So I think it'll be a big week. I think it could be a very profitable week for Kansas. They could really put themselves back on the contender stage if they could do well in both of those games. And even if they split, I think that would say a lot about this team. So it will be awfully interesting. Benton, tell the folks what you're going to have for your birthday dinner tonight before we get out of here.
Well, I believe we're having an array of barbecued meats from Joe's.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean we're living it up, the pandemic style.
There's nothing more that says birthday dinner than an array of barbecued meats. It's going to be everything you dreamed of and then some. KU, dreaming of victories just a month ago, has 5 in a row right now, and is as David McCormick said after this game, peaking at the right time, and this is when he would rather peak than earlier in the season. So I think each time they go out, they gain more confidence, they believe in themselves more, they believe in their coach more, and that could be a dangerous formula. It could be – God, that was a horrible crack right there, but it could be a dangerous formula and could make KU a really tough out. So they've still got to prove something. I mean, getting this one was big, but, you can't just go lay an egg in the next two. You got to be good in those games, win or lose, and I think that's what makes next week so interesting. So we'll have all kinds of coverage leading up to those games and throughout the week and then into the off week if KU does, in fact, stay – without a game between the end of the regular season and the start of the Big 12 tournament. It's unbelievable that it's here. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm sure you felt like you just had a birthday.
Just a year ago at most.
Perfect. For Ben Smith, I'm Matt Tate. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra. KU wins it 67-61 over number 15 Texas Tech. That is 17-7 overall and 11-5 in Big 12 play. But most importantly, 5 wins in a row for Kansas. We'll talk to you guys next time.